So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tips from the Top. I am super excited about tonight's call with my sweet friend, Brianne Coolidge. And I have to tell you that Brianne and I met. Actually, I was kind of a Facebook stalker of hers for a little while because she was showing up all the time on the leaderboard. And I'm like, okay, I've got to see what this girl's all about. And I immediately, like, she's someone on Facebook that you immediately fall in love with because she has the best posts, and she's just one of those people that's just so, you just kind of get sucked into her posts. Like, so if you want some amazing posting ideas, y'all go and follow her because she is incredible. And so just the more I got to know about her, and I was so blessed to have met her in Hawaii this year. I mean, I have just completely fallen in love with her. She has so many incredible ideas. She has such an inspirational journey, and I am so excited for her to share with us tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to her. And if you have questions or, anything during it, feel free to put it in the chat box, and we can try to get to some of those at the end of our call. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Brianne.
Well, Zoom's over because I don't know if I could follow it up after that. Thank you. That was so sweet. So do we have a time for this? Like how long you guys usually?
I usually
just
like
when
30
people
to
start
45 minutes. Yeah, it's
okay.
kind of open.
When people start leaving the meeting, right. I'll be done. Thank you. First, you guys know this because you're on her team, but I adore your leader, adore her. And she has so much faith and belief in you guys. And let me tell you, coming from I'll tell you some of this in my story, but my upline, my direct upline doesn't really actively work the business very much. And so to have an upline that cares about you, that loves you, that supports you and wants this for you, it gives me spirit chills because you are blessed. And if you haven't been told that yet today, let me tell you, your leader loves you and she cares about you and she wants this for you. And you are blessed to have that. So my name, like she said, it's Brianne Coolidge, and you can read it right there too, right? So we are an Emerald team out of Central Pennsylvania. Gotcha. I live on a dairy farm with my husband and our 3 kids. My kids are 4, 5, and 7. My oldest 2, I have 2 little girls and then a little boy. And I always tell people that if we can go emerald living in the middle of nowhere, you can go emerald living from anywhere, because I can't even promise you that my internet service is going to stay up for this entire call. But if you have the drive and the passion and the determination for this, you can absolutely do it. There's no mold for this. It does not matter what your upline does, doesn't matter what your sideline does, doesn't matter what your downline does. If you want this, you be your own rock star and you do this. That being said, that's 2 years of growth that goes into that statement, because let me tell you, when I started this, I had none of that. I actually did not want anything to do with plexus. I was the girl that most of us do not love, that scrolls faster by our posts and deletes posts and blocks posts and hides posts and does not answer the messages back. That was me. And that was because I could talk forever about these products and what they've done for my family and the belief that I've built up over the last 2 years. In a 3.5-year time span, I had all 3 of my babies. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, celiac disease, and my thyroid was shot, all in that 3-year time span. My hormones were out of control from having the kids. I was having migraines every month. My mom was diagnosed with Lyme's disease and fibromyalgia in that same 3-year time span. And the icing on the cake, my oldest daughter, who's 7, she was diagnosed with her first anaphylactic food allergy at 14 months old. She went into an anaphylactic attack, and we spent 6 hours in the emergency room, Benadryl, epinephrine, and that sent us on another really long journey with her health. And we know as parents and caregivers that when something is wrong with our kids, no matter what we are going through, it takes an absolute backseat to it. And that's what had happened with me and my health. And so over that 3-year time span, by the time she was 4.5 years old, We had her off of gluten. She had a dairy intolerance. Anytime she ate anything with eggs in it or egg substitutes, she would break out with eczema all over her body. We found out when we took her back in that she had developed a carrot intolerance because we had to take her back in for yearly testing. And then, I mean, you take her outside, like if my husband had just mowed the grass, and we live in a very rural area with lots of trees and pollen and yard, and the dairy farm. And so if you took her outside and my husband had just mowed the grass, her eyes would immediately swell and just water and sneezing. And I mean, we went to take her for her allergy testing, and they actually had to stop, like the prick tests that they do on your back. We had to stop them because she inflamed so quickly from them. So when I got to seeing the post about these products and someone had messaged me about them, I had already had all of that happen. Food completely ruled our house. I was the master of ingredient checking. I was already on probiotics. I was already on a multivitamin. I knew that they were important. I was working with a life coach out of California. I already thought that I had the best of the best. I was in the health food store all of the time. So somebody coming to me and talking to me about products from a network marketing company, I'm going to tell you, I was a probiotic snob. And as bad as it might sound, I was too good for it. That's what I thought. I thought that this was just another company and somebody trying to sell me something. And so I ignored the posts. I'm also a very yellow personality, and so I do really like people to be happy. I was a teacher up until my oldest. I was supposed to go back when she was 2 years old after my second was born. And I had retired from teaching and started a vinyl business in my basement. And so I was doing that. My husband's gone 14, 16 hours a day, and I was doing vinyl after I got the kids to bed at night. And so I was busy. I did not think that I had time for any of this stuff, nor did I want it. And so when somebody came and they ordered something from vinyl from me, and then they stood in my driveway and they started telling me about these products, I just thought, okay, I can give them a try. So I ordered as a preferred customer. I ordered the probiotic and I ordered the BioCleanse, and I took it for about 2 weeks. And I remember thinking, because I'm a huge sweets person, I remember thinking it was amazing that I did not need ice cream after one of the meals that I had. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And I remember messaging her and saying that it was neat, but it was not enough for me. It was not my why. I had no idea really why I was taking the products other than I was already taking a probiotic and multivitamin. So I thought I would just order to keep her happy. And that was it. I quit. For 6 months, I quit the products. And I went into the PPP. I was in the plexus protection program. I didn't answer any messages back. I didn't want to talk to her about it. I didn't want to see the posts. And so I just went on thinking that everything was fine for 6 months. I tell you that because we all have those people. I know that every single person on this call, if you've talked to somebody about these products, you've gotten that really amazing feeling, right? Like, okay, they're going to order or they have ordered, and this is going to change their life. And then all of a sudden, it's like they're going to rock this, either rock the products or they're going to rock the business. And then 3 days into it, it's like, poof, they're gone. And you have no idea where they went or why they won't answer you back. Do not stop loving on them, because that was me for 6 months. But when the time was right for me, when I realized that this was not just about a weight loss program, that this was not just a multivitamin and a probiotic, that this was something that I needed to give a fair shot. Because these plexus products, they didn't not work for me. I didn't work for them. I wasn't consistent. I quit. It wasn't anything to do with the products. And that wasn't something that anybody else could tell me. I had to realize that. And I had to have a different why when I came back. So 6 months later, same girl, we were just kind of acquaintances. She ended up buying something else off of my vinyl shop. And I didn't know this at the time, but she had kind of dabbled in the business a little bit, and I was on her dream team. And so she came, she stood in my driveway, and she had bought a little water bottle off of me and just said, I know that you really need these products. You're still posting about your daughter, because that's what we do, right? We post on Facebook and complain about things when things aren't going right, and that's what I had been doing. So I had been posting about Riley and her allergies on Facebook, and she said, listen, you need to try these products, but you need to give them a fair shot. And if you decide to, You need to be consistent. And so I like a deal. At that time when I joined, this was 2 years ago in August, I ended up joining as a wholesale customer. At that time, we only had 5 days to return the products, but I still thought it just wasn't going to work, that it was going to get added to that closet of things. But I wanted to prove them wrong, that I was going to be consistent for 60 days and that it was not going to work for me, and then people would just leave me alone. It still blows my mind. In 30 days, I had felt different than I'd ever felt. I was waking up, my joints weren't aching anymore. I mean, you know, if you're here, you believe in these products. I started giving them to my daughter, same thing for her. 3 weeks in, guys, she has not had any allergy medication in 2 years. She has been thriving, not just surviving anymore. And these products did that. They brought my little girl back to me. And I will shout that from the rooftops forever. But I still wasn't really sure about the business side of it. And so I tell you that because if you have people that are not there yet, let them borrow your belief. There are going to be people that don't have an amazing testimony, that don't have any testimony at all. And they need to feel like that is okay. I have people all the time that join our team and they say, well, Brie, we don't have the testimony that you have. We aren't feeling better from autoimmune disorders. We don't have the allergy testimony. If you feel better in your day, if you have more energy, if you wake up in the morning and you're not already looking forward to your kids' nap time, if they wake up from nap time and you're not already looking forward to putting them to bed at night, and that makes me really emotional because that's where I was every day. 3 kids under 3, I was exhausted, but that was not life. And it's not okay for people to think that that is life. And when you talk to people about it, they think, oh, I'm a mom, I'm just not going to have any energy. No, that's not the way that it should be. But guess what we get to do? We get to share that with people every single day. We get to teach them and show them that that's not the way that life should be. And so when I started with the products and started seeing those amazing results, I still didn't want anything to do with the business because I was already busy. I told myself I didn't have time for this, but I did know that my mom needed these products. And I had 2 other friends that were allergy mamas. And so I called them up. And quite frankly, I didn't know how else to have people sign up. So they just ended up ordering the Plexus wholesale. I ended up going silver without knowing what silver was because I did not get any guidance at all from the person that signed me up. My second upline ended up sending me a message. I had no idea who she was. We are like oil and water. But she sent me a message and she said, you just want silver. You should start posting about this stuff on Facebook because I really think that you could do something with this. And I legit messaged her back and said, don't ever message me again. I am not selling these products. And that was it. Like, I did not want anything to do with it. But here, I think, was a complete God divine thing because we are like oil and water. Like, we have very different personalities. And had she not messaged me with that, what she messaged me back, I do not think that I probably would be here. Because she messaged me back and she said, Brie, you're not selling anything. You're sharing something. You're sharing something that has worked for you, and you can change lives with this. And being the yellow personality, that's all that it took for me. That's all that it took for me to think, okay, I really can do this. That being said, I was still shaking like a leaf the first couple of times that I posted on Facebook. The first time that somebody said something negative, I deleted the whole post and didn't post again for 3 days. But I didn't have anybody pouring that belief into me. So pour that belief into your team. That's huge. Let them borrow your belief every single day until they gain their own belief, because they've got to get it from someplace. But I think that it's really important, and I know that Angie talks about this with color personalities. There's not just one color personality that you need to be. The second that you have someone on your team, you are a leader. And you have to believe that. It does not matter if you're not silver or if you are a diamond. You are a leader because you have somebody that wanted what you had. But that being said, you're going to have every single different personality of people that are underneath of you. And guys, that's really hard sometimes, really, really hard. And being a strong yellow personality, I've learned, like, plexus has made my blue come out, and I'm getting on a rabbit trail right now, but I love the parties. That's how I met Angie. I love being in Maui. I love getting to do those things. It's brought out my blue. I love science ingredients. It's brought out my green. But when you are a strong color personality in one way and you have people on your team that are the complete opposite from you, let me tell you, you better start acting like a chameleon, because you have to be able to adapt to those things. And that's really, really hard sometimes. I've had people that have told me, and I'm smiling about it now because she's one of my favorite health testimonies, but she told me that I was an awful person, I was an awful leader, that she wanted to change teams. I mean, I've heard it all, and it's really hard sometimes. But let me tell you what's not hard. And this will make me emotional. It's seeing my little girl do the things that she never would have been able to do. They told us that she needed a bubble. It's me being able to get out of bed in the morning without my husband having to help me and get me into the shower. You better believe that I will shout these products from the rooftop to every single person, because it has changed my life. And we have the power to be able to do that for every single person that we meet. And you know what I started thinking? How dare me keep that from someone else? What if somebody would have kept that from me? My life would be completely different right now, and I cannot imagine where it would be right now if somebody hadn't shared that with me. So every single day when I wake up, do I want to put the time into plexus? No. But do I? Absolutely. Because this has blessed me in more ways than I ever could have imagined. I mean, we have a really strong health testimony, but farming is not lucrative in any sense of the way. I was a teacher. We walked away from that income because my daughter's allergies were bad enough that we couldn't put her in a daycare setting. Plexus is solely supporting my family right now. And to be able to say that and to be able to do the things that we can do right now, just because I get to help people get healthy and feel the way that their body is designed to feel, like, what? I remember the first paycheck that I got from Plexus, the first commissions check. It was $312. And it was the second month that I had really gotten going. I had a couple of customers, I had a couple of ambassadors, I got that silver bonus. And I just remember thinking that I didn't have to be up until 2 o'clock in the morning selling vinyl on Etsy to be able to make that money. And that was huge, huge, huge. And the first couple of times that I got messages back from people and they were feeling things that they'd never felt before, like, we get to do that every single day. But you cannot lose sight in your goals. And your goals and your why are going to change every single day. I'm a firm believer in that. But I'm also a firm believer in the fact that you have to write down what you want in this life. You have to. If you cannot take it, and I jumped ahead a little bit, I ended up going to a Super Saturday. My first Super Saturday was 2 years ago this January, and that's huge. Get to an event. I don't care if it's one person, if it's 3 people, whoever you can get to talk to you about these products, get them and get there. And if you have a chance to get to a bigger event, get there, because that Super Saturday was huge for me. I went as a silver ambassador. It was in January. I remember sitting there with Jennifer Leith and Kristen Abart were our speakers, and I felt like I was the only person in that room, that they were completely zoned in and just talking to me like, Bree, you can do this, and this is something that if you really want to go after, you can. And I came home that Saturday from that. It was in Princeton, New Jersey, so it was about 4.5 hours away. And the next day, I talked with my husband about it, and I just remember feeling like I was not making as much with Plexus as I was with vinyl, but I felt alive. I no longer just felt like a mom that got to talk to a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and 5-year-old all day long. That I got to connect with people and that my spirit was coming alive, that I was a woman again and got to do things again. And so he's my biggest shareholder. He helps me out with things with the business, but that was huge for me to be able to talk to him about it and say, listen, this is a goal that I have. I really want this, but unless something else goes, I can't do this. And so we decided together that I was going to close my vinyl shop and that I was going to walk away from that and that I was going to go all in with plexus. If I had not taken that goal and written it down, and I'm a firm believer in this, whatever your goal is, if every single person would unmute themselves, and I won't really have you do this, but if you did and you told me what your goal was, when you get off of this, if you have not, I want you to write it down. Write down whatever your goal is. But then I want you to take it the next step. And I want you to message your upline or your sideline partner or your shareholder. And I want you to tell them what that goal is. And then take it one step further. And I want you to write down what's keeping you from getting that goal. Because so often we write down, okay, I want to be gold. Here's the steps to get to gold. I need 20 active ambassadors on my levels 1 through 3. I need to do my IPAs every single day. We write down the steps to get to that goal, but we don't write down what's keeping us from getting from that goal. So keeping me from getting to the goals that I wanted was my vinyl business. It was a hard decision to walk away from. Keeping me from getting to those goals was personal development. At first, I wasn't putting in the hard time that it took to grow through those things that I was scared of. I was scared to death what other people were going to think of me. And let me tell you, so many times, so many times, the people that I was scared of were never in my boat in the first place. And I had a really hard lesson with that. My father's business, my dad has a salvage yard, and my dad's entire business burnt before our eyes one day. It was the hardest thing that I've been through. And it was about a year after I started sharing plexus. And let me tell you, those people that I was really worried about and worried about what they thought of me, when I went through that hard time, were nowhere to be found. Did not even send me a message. And you know what that taught me? I'm putting so much stock into what somebody else thinks of me that can't even send me a message, and I'm letting them dictate my dreams and my goals. But do you know who did message me? The new people that I've found in plexus. Those people are your shareholders, the people that are with you, that are supporting you through the trenches, that are clapping with you through the highs. That's who you need to take stock in. So write down your goals, share them with somebody, and then take it one step further and write down what's keeping you from getting those goals. But then you've got to address it, because that is huge. You need to find some books, and you need to be able to read every single day. And let me tell you, it's not always easy. You know, even if you have one page before your eyes are so tired that they close, read that one page. Start your morning with affirmations. There's a really good app called Repeat It. If you haven't downloaded that, you can talk to it and it will repeat your affirmations. There are so many different things like that. I have my affirmations, and it sounds really silly at first. I don't know, Angie, if you guys have done these activities on your team page, but some of them, when I first started, I would message a sideline, and it was literally me speaking into voice messenger, which was terrifying me to begin with, because I do not love how my voice sounds, and so I never would listen to any of that stuff. But it was me speaking to a sideline saying, I am worth this. I'm good at this business. I am worthy. I'm smart. People believe in me. I'm a good leader. It was all those affirmations that I did not feel down to my core. I felt like a complete fake saying them because I didn't believe them. But guess what? I have them written in front of me. I have them posted in my closet. I said them enough times that, by golly, I believe it. I'm a good leader. Maybe not everybody thinks that, but I think that. You know, so say those affirmations to yourself enough times that you believe it. I know I talk a lot, and I know that we've already been on for 30 minutes, but one more thing before we go. Don't compare your journey. And I know that you hear this all the time, but don't do it. And I think that that was one of the biggest blessings. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of people in my area that were doing plexus. There's people that have been here for a couple of years, but not anybody that really had gone gung-ho for it. So we went gold in January, we went senior gold in March, and we were set to double rank ruby and senior ruby in May. The biggest blessing in my journey that it didn't happen and that I didn't hit both ranks. And I say that with complete belief that God did that for a reason for us, because I needed to step back and I needed to look at who I was as a leader and how I was growing as a leader. And that is essential, that you take a step back and that you look at the things that you're doing every single day to not only make yourself better, but to make your team better. 80% of your day should be spent on you. And sometimes that sounds really selfish, but you have to show your team that you're doing this every single day. You have to put the work in every single day for other people to see that. You know, my goal every single month is 700 Club, because I will never expect my team to do something that I'm not willing to do double of. If I want them adding 1 or 2 people a month, I'd be better be adding 3 or 4 people a month. If you're not willing to do it and to double it, then don't ask them to do it. And I'm a really firm believer in that. You know, one of the things that I tell my team quite often, there's so many people that are so scared of doing this, and I completely get it. I completely get it. But every single day, imagine your comfort zone. It's a circle. Sarah Marble has the best description of this, and I absolutely love it. But she said, your comfort zone is a circle, and you're inside of it. Every single time you do something to stretch that comfort zone and you step outside of it, you might want to go back into that comfort zone. But guess what? Your comfort zone went from here to here. So it's growing. You do something else to step outside of your comfort zone. Once again, you're out here. You might want to retract a little bit, but your circle has grown a little bit more. If I go to bed at the end of the night and I haven't done something during the day that's made that little pit in my stomach curl up and that's been completely uncomfortable for me, then I haven't grown. You have to grow every single day. If somebody called you up and they said, listen, you can go on this amazing trip. It's all there for you. Just grab a couple of friends and go. I guarantee you that you would not get on that plane by yourself. You wouldn't research every single restaurant. You wouldn't go to every single place and see what's going to happen. You wouldn't make those memories together. I guarantee you that you would call up a couple of your friends and you would say, listen, we can go on this trip of an absolute lifetime, and I want to do it together. That's what Plexus is. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have a testimony. You don't have to know everything about the products. You don't have to. Grab your best friends, grab your family, and do it together. And when you get to the end of that first 6 months, you can look at each other and be like, man, that was amazing. There was times it was terrifying, but you know what? We did it together. Don't be scared to do that with people. And we all have it. I still have people. I'm preaching to myself. But if there's somebody that you haven't reached out to when you get off of this, send them a message. Don't use the excuse that it's too late. You can get it in the morning. Stop holding yourself back, because there's so many amazing things that are here from you. And let me tell you, not every single person will make it to the top. They won't, because not every single person has the drive and the determination, but you can, and you get to determine that, because it's there for everybody. You know, Alec and Tarl aren't sitting around at a desk thinking like, oh yeah, we only need 1,000 people to get to the top and then we've got it made. Heck no. They want everybody to get there. So they've made the opportunity so every single person can. But you have to decide that. Angie wants it for you. I want it for you. But you have to want it for you. It's not your downline, your sideline, your upline. You get to decide that every single day when you wake up. You just have to put in the effort for it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for letting me cry and ruining my eyelashes. I'm just kidding.
That's why I haven't gotten them yet.
Oh my goodness. You are so, and it's just like, you know, now I just love you even more. And I love you because you're yellow, and I need more yellow people in my life because I'm also like halfway. But I love everything that you've shared, and you have so many, many valuable things. It just, y'all, did you hear her? She was on the products, and after 2 weeks, she quit for 6 months. How many people do you have that have quit the products that maybe you still need to follow up with? You still need to reach out to. It's just kind of like when people tell you no, it doesn't mean right now it might mean, it might just that timing wasn't good for them. And look at the life change because that person decided to reach back out to her and talk to her, and she decided to make that, to try it again. Look at the life change that has happened in her family because that person did not give up on her. So y'all, do not give up on your people, because we have products that are changing people's lives, y'all. And I love, what was it for you? I mean, I love that, we are so fortunate on our team. We are so fortunate to have incredible leaders. And I think every day, I mean, honestly, y'all, if it wasn't for Ellen Ford, I probably would have quit. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I'm that person that would have just kept going if I didn't have someone push you. So I think that's so amazing for your testimony, is just to say, like, look, I didn't have these people above me, beside me, but, I fought for it because I've had passion. I had belief in these products. What do you, and I have someone to ask a question, what do you say to people that have quit, and how do you get them back?
I know that sounds weird, but I don't go after them. Like, if they decide that they want to be done with it, then this is a business of sharing and loving on people. And I will love on anyone wherever they're at. And if this is not something that they need right now and they cannot commit to it, I can't make them commit to it. But if I had a relationship with them before Plexus, I'm going to have a relationship with them after Plexus. And I have some people, like I have one girl that just came back. It's been 2 years. She was one of the very first people that joined as a customer, and she stopped. It wasn't right for her. And she just messaged me 3 weeks ago and got her products again. I mean, 2 years. But I think that was one of the biggest things. If you guys haven't read the book, it's a really easy, quick read, but Rock Your Network Marketing with Sarah Robbins. She has, or even just go and watch her social media summit, because she gives a lot of the same points, and you can listen to it in an hour while you're washing your dishes or doing your laundry, which is huge. If you don't do that while you're washing your dishes or doing laundry, put on a video and listen to somebody. Like, don't use idle time. Like, that's another rabbit trail. But in that, she says, if you have a waiter or a waitress and they come to you at a restaurant and they ask you if you want some water or some coffee, and you tell them no, they don't go to the back and start crying. They go to the next table and they ask the next person if they want some water. And then guess what? In 15 minutes, they come back to you if you're still sitting there, and they ask you if you want some more. And you either say yes or you say no. That does not mean that you're never, ever, ever going to be thirsty ever again in your life. It just means that you're not right at that moment. So I keep loving on people. Send them messages, hey, I just saw this today and I'm thinking about you. Instead of just liking their picture on Facebook, comment on it, and then take it off of the comments and go and personally message them. That picture of your kid today completely blessed me. And that was amazing to see how much fun they were having. I can't wait to do that with my kids. Be human and be a person and just love on them where they are at. And if they see that it's about more than the relationship, they'll come back if they're ready and if it's in their time. And not everybody will. And sometimes that stings, because we know what this does, right? We know that we want this for everybody. But that's not up for us to decide. Kim, cold message, just a second. Dave, can you turn it down just a little bit? I don't send cold messages.
You don't message? Do you message anyone about the business, or how do you share?
I do, but so I don't think this maybe is not what you want me to say, but I did not send a cold message probably, and the term cold message, warm message, we want it to be a warm message, right? Yeah, and I know that's what every single person in network marketing does, but because I was that person, I had people all the time. I just had somebody friend me a couple of weeks ago, and then they sent me a message and it said, clearly they do not know who I am and that I love Plexus, but they sent me a message and it said, I just started this brand new business and I want all the people that I'm really close to join me and go to the top. And I'm like, what? You don't even know me. Like, we're not close. So I always keep those things in mind. Like if you friend somebody and then you send them a message right away about the products or the business, that's a complete turnoff to me, because it's not a relationship. It's about a sale. So very, very few times would I ever encourage somebody to do that. If you want to grow your network, tag somebody in a picture that's not in Plexus. So like if I tag my husband in a picture and somebody likes my picture that he's friends with that I'm not, then I go and friend them. That's fair game. They've liked my picture, so I can go and friend them and I can warm market them. If this sounds really, really cheesy, maybe, but Facebook makes it really simple for us, right? They have those people that you may know or people that you should friend or whatever that little section is called. Click on that, and if there's somebody in there and I know them, like maybe it's somebody from high school that's just resurfaced or college or whatever it is, I'll friend them and then I'll just send them a message like, hey, Facebook thinks that we should be friends again. Like, I'm super, super excited that I saw your name. It's really cheesy, but man, does it work to start those relationships again. And that's all I say at first. It might take 2 or 3 months to build that relationship back up, but I guarantee you that works so much better than if I would just send them a friend request and be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in 6 years. I'm doing Plexus now. Nah, not going to go anywhere. So I don't really send cold messages. I feel like people know me well enough now that Plexus, and I'm bold enough about it now, that if somebody is in a relationship with me, meaning that we've talked at any length in time, Plexus comes up, and it comes up naturally, because this is every part of my life now. My kids feel better. I feel better. It's a business opportunity. And I'm not shy about sharing that anymore. I mean, you can go to the grocery store, stand next to the yogurt aisle. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, somebody's buying yogurt because they've just been to the doctor and they need to get a probiotic and they think that the yogurt is where they get it. I can't tell you how many conversations I've struck up at the yogurt aisle in the grocery store. And then pull out your phone and say, hey, are you on Facebook? If you're at the park with your kids, start talking to somebody new. You know, it's about being bold and building those relationships. So no, that didn't really answer your question, but I don't send out cold messages to people.
No, but I love that you said that, and really with even more so with the new Facebook algorithms and how all of that is working now, is it's so important that we are really building those relationships that we are sharing with people. And I know, like, you know, like I cold message, but it's more like warm message, building those relationships, being intentional. And then it's just Plexus is just going to come natural with sharing. Plexus is just going to come naturally.
Yep. And you don't ever want somebody to feel like it's a sale. I mean, I say all the time that we're not salespeople, we're shares people, but we are in a business. And I think that that's something that you really have to get your head around. You know, when my business coach, when you get to Senior Ruby and Emerald, Plexus gives you a business coach. And one of my very first coaching calls with him, he said, well, when people ask you what you do, what do you say? And I said, well, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And he said, no, you're not. You're not a stay-at-home mom. You are a CEO of your own business, and you're making 6 figures a year at your computer in your playroom. And it hit me really hard. You know, when I tell my team, I don't care how much you're making. If you're making $10 a month off of these products, you're a CEO. You're a budding CEO. Start telling people that. You know, you don't have to say I'm a budding CEO, but, you know, I get to sit at my computer at night and I get to change lives. I don't even have to mention Plexus, but I guarantee you if I say that to somebody in an elevator, they're going to be like, what? Like, you wait until your kids go to bed at night and then you hop on the computer and you do what? Like, that grabs attention to people. And they're going to ask me what I want to do or what I am doing. So don't be shy about it, but also don't feel like you have to like do the Plexus puke on people, because that's what turns people off. And most people, it's sad to say, but we have to change their minds. I was one of them. Like, I thought that it was network marketing, and it was like I hope I don't offend anybody by this, but it was like Tupperware. Like you pack up all your products, you might make enough to get to gas for the next show, and then you bring them all back home and they sit in your garage until the next one. Like that's what so many people think network marketing is. So we get to change their minds.
Yeah, I love that. And I love like your elevator spiel, because it is kind of like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But I love that. So can you repeat that again? I'm going to write this down.
I don't even know what I said. Usually I just say something like, I get to change lives after my kids go to bed at night. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because
unless they say
go,
Superman.
What? Yes.
Right? I mean, unless somebody comes back and they're like, oh, I'm Superman. Like, I guarantee you're not going to top that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. And let me ask you a question. So what was it that you feel like made you catch the vision of the business? Because, I mean, you said you didn't even know that you were silver. So, I mean, that was kind of like, but what was it for you that you feel like really just clicked?
I'm very driven. I've always been. I mean, my dad works harder than hard, and my mom works super, super hard. I had 3 jobs in high school. But for me, it was tapping into the fact that I could see when I was a silver, I thought the emerald was never going to happen. I'm going to be completely honest, because I mean, silver, like once you figure out that you're silver and you're going for gold, like gold is a complete uphill push. If you're going for gold right now, I don't know what levels you guys are on, but honestly, I feel like when you're going for gold, it's like you have a boulder and you're going up the side of a mountain and you're trying to climb it and you're just grasping at anything. But I wanted that so badly, because my why started developing. Like I want my husband home, for him to be gone that much every single day. And he has a passion that he absolutely loves. He went to school for diesel mechanics. He could be doing things other than this, but he loves this and he supports my passion. I will always support his passion with that stuff. But my why is to bring him back home more, to be able to have equipment that he can use again. But looking forward to Emerald, like that just didn't even seem like it was in the game plan. Like 1,500 points, like what does that even mean? So you have to break it down into attainable goals. And so I think that you're going to find that people on your team are either going to be very, very goal driven, and you can tell them like, hey, what do you want to be? Well, I'm going to be a diamond. Okay, well then how are we going to get you there? And then there's going to be other people that are like, I don't know, like I just want to make $300 to pay for my car payment. Okay, well then let's break that down. What does that look like for you? This is adding, if you want this by December, you need to add this many people a month. You need to reach out to this many people a day. And so it's going to be very different for some people. But for me, it was kind of just like, hey, it's there and I'm going for it because this is something that I want and I need to supplement my family. I think that so many times we lead with the products, and this is something that I'm still like, this is my season of growth right now. When you have a really good product testimony, you lead with the products, but we should lead with the business just as much. And so many of us don't do that. And I'm utterly convinced that the number 1 and 2 things, because I was there, that people go to bed at night worrying about is your health and your finances. And we have something that fixes that. Financial sickness is huge in America, and we were that family. Like we were living paycheck to paycheck. We weren't saving anything, and I didn't want to live the same day for 40 years and call it a life. But we get to breathe that into people.
So I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. You are definitely such a tremendous inspiration to me. And I know I've already gotten so many messages from people on our team about how inspiring you are, how genuine, how real you are. And I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful for your friendship. And thank you for blessing us tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm coming to Florida just to give you a hug.
Yes, please come to Florida. Love you, girl. Have a good night.
Love you too. Have a good night. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. That was great.
You are welcome.